Real quick, I want to give you an almost live update on the glass fire in Napa County, California. I couldn't quite get the live feed worked out. This fire started this morning, Sunday, September 27th, and has been going on all afternoon. And there's quite an air attack going on this fire. And there's a live helicopter feed that's being played on Facebook that I'm going to give you a little bit of a voice over narration of some of the airdrops that we're seeing on this fire today. Check it out.
Okay, we got the Erickson air tanker, the Mad Dog MD-11. This is tanker 102. This is a live feed over the glass fire, Sunday, September 27th. I'm unable to broadcast this live, but I'll record it and put it together, put it online here shortly after I get it recorded. So this is a media helicopter posting the live feed on Facebook, watching the glass fire air attack. The glass fire is in Napa County. It is north of St. Helena, where there's evacuations in place in the St. Helena area. It is east of Calistoga, between Calistoga and Pope Valley. We've got good, strong winds here in Northern California today. Red flag warning day. This fire is just west of the giant LNU lightning complex that's been burning for weeks and weeks. This fire started this morning about 1 o'clock in the morning. Don't know how it got started at this point. And quickly grew over to 1,000 acres. It's now, what time is it? It's now almost 2:30 local time. So the air show on this, as we call it, the air attack on this has slowed down considerably. Now we got the Mad Dog air tanker, the what I call MD-11, DC-10, Erickson air tanker on left base on the ridge. How we got a second air tanker, tanker 2-2. The P3 Orion air tanker. Now let's see if here he's got his drop going on the ridge. Notice the gear down on the Mad Dog air tanker. That's a kind of a paperwork snafu that Erickson has right now, why they got to drop with the gear down in that particular tanker with that configuration. So they're laying some retardant to back up that dozer line right there on that ridge. Again, the fire retardant does not put out the fire. It only backs up ground support troops on the ground, and there's the troops that he's supporting, that dozer right there, and they're drawing this line, this dozer line, right on top of the ridge. This is classic firefighting 101. You want to try and get these fires stopped at the ridge if you can. .31 knots of wind on the scanner I just heard now. I've got a separate scanner going on the cell phone here, so it doesn't interfere too much with the with this recording here. So here comes the Erickson MD-11 air tanker. What did I say? What tanker number that was? 101. Boy, you can even read the small n numbers on there. What a great camera shot. Look at the retardant just forward of the engines and on the flaps on that MD-11. The rear-mounted engines of the MD-11 do give it some interesting characteristics as a fire bomber aircraft. These VLATs, these large air tankers, are coming in and out of Sacramento's McClellan Air Force Base. There's our P3 air tanker. Tanker 2-2. I'll have to look up the tank quantities on these. I've got so many numbers in my head right now, studying for 777 training right now. Taking a break from studying to bring you this almost live feed of the glass fire in Napa County. Again, if you're just joining us, this is the glass fire in Napa County, California. A fire that just broke out this morning. We've got a strong wind, northeast wind condition. There's the lead plane. You can just barely see him down there on the ridge top. This is an old friend of mine flying the lead plane for CAL FIRE today, one of the few, very few, 2 or 3 pilots that I know of that can fly the OV-10 CAL FIRE air attack aircraft as a lead airplane. He's a former U.S. Forest Service lead plane pilot. Okay, we should be back with the live feed rolling. We got a S-2T on the scene now. The S-2T fire bombers are coming out of Santa Rosa Air Attack Base. He's going to back up these retardant lines that they're laying on the ridge. This would be the left flank of the fire at this point, and there's the S-2T dropping his load right there on the left flank, backing up the work of the very large air tankers. S-2T is turning left. Now you get an idea of the drift and the wind and the crosswind. So the tankers are having to offset a wingspan or two from where they want to drop to get their retardant into the exact spot with this crosswind. What do we got here? Another S-2T. These are the smaller air tankers, the 2,000-gallon former S-2 Grumman carrier aircraft that have been converted to turbine aircraft with a Marsh conversion, Tanker 86. Very maneuverable, excellent in the tight conditions. As these fires get bigger like today, this fire is a great example of a great use of larger air tankers. You've got good clear air, a solid ridge to work with, and the idea is to stop this fire from backing down this ridge and heading towards Angwin. More structure protection going on down there towards the head of the fire. Again, this is the glass fire in the Napa County area. Sunday, the 27th, S-2T dropping another load. They're backing up the dozer lines that are creating the containment lines on top of the ridge here, getting that retardant into that light flashy fuel, that grass, in order to back up and help the dozers. Again, these air tankers are not to put out the fire, they're there to support the ground forces. We got, what is that, tanker 8-9 or 8-8 on a left downwind for the fire. Great camera shot by the local television camera helicopter crew. They've got to stand a long way off at a much higher altitude to even be. They can't interfere with the fire operation. So in order to not interfere, they've got to put them up at a very high altitude. Up looks like 8-8's out of here. He's load and return, heading back to Santa Rosa Air Base to get another load of retardant. Down here, we can get a good idea of how the winds are driving this fire today. We got 10 to 20 knot winds up here at Nevada County, even more down here where this fire is burning today. So a wind-driven event. You can see just how thick that foliage is and that steep terrain. So the idea is to come up with a plan of where to draw your containment lines for this fire and then allow the fire to burn up to your containment lines. The idea is not to jump right down into there and try to put the fire out where it's burning at present time. You want to build containment lines around the fire, preferably on ridge tops or natural fire breaks, and allow the fire to burn up to it, up to your containment lines. Here's a good shot of Air Attack 140, the North American Rockwell OV-10 Bronco that's been converted from marine use to firefighter spotting use here for CAL FIRE. There's the Angwin Airport just off to the left of the fire. So this fire is working down from the Glass Mountain Glass Mountain area, working its way down towards St. Helena. Helicopters staying down low, working hot spots with the Bambi buckets. Looks like a civilian Black Hawk helicopter. This could go up to, look at that thing swing, and this could go about 700 gallons of water. See, that's the problem with water in a wind-driven event. In the winds, that water can just get dispersed. Picking up something on the scanner here. Okay, looks like we got one of the MAFS aircraft here. A solid gray color. There he goes, squirting the retardant out of his MAFS tanking system. Can draw real long lines of retardant, but look at the drift on that retardant from this angle. The winds, of course, are blowing from left to right. He got some of that retardant where he wanted it, and some of it kind of drifted right into the fire. Now we got Tanker 10, the KC-10, up next. Doing left pattern onto the left flank of the fire. Tanker 911. Both the MAFs and all these large air tankers are coming out of McClellan Air Force Base today. And it's a pretty short run back and forth to McClellan. There you can get a little bit. There's the hospital. I think that's the hospital that was evacuated earlier. St. Helena, the old Veterans Hospital, maybe. Now, I wish we could pick up the lead pilot here on the scanner, but I'm not. I was picking him up earlier, and we were able to listen to him directly talking to the air tankers earlier today. They've been beating up this fire all morning here with retardant. What are they showing down there? There's quite a few structures down there that are going to be potentially threatened by this fire as it crawls down that high terrain. Type 1, Type 2 helicopters working the fire with the Bambi buckets hitting the hot spots. And it looks like we got Tanker 911. I think that's the DC-10. Yeah, coming right over Angwin Airport on a left downwind for what will hopefully be a drop on the left flank of this fire. Left base entry. AirTac 230 is coming back home to our airport here at Nevada County, being relieved by some of the other air attack aircraft. So they're ordering up a relief air attack. And there's his drop. Boy, they're getting a lot of retardant on that ridge. So watch this retardant drift into the location they want it, exactly right, just right in front of that fire. Hopefully that retardant will just lay down right in front of that. Perfect. Right in front of that fire there. Great. They don't want to put out the fire with it. They just want to slow the rate of spread of that fire, allowing the dozers and ground troops time to get around that fire. That would be the left flank of this fire. Here's a little shot of the wine country. You can see the terraced vineyards, grape vineyards off in the distance. And we got Tanker 911. I'm not sure if that was a partial drop, if he's going to come back around for another drop the rest of his load, or if he's returning back to McClellan. That's structure, quite a bit of structure protection going on right there. And some of those structures that's the problem when you got all that vegetation too close up to your house. There's nothing they can do about it. If you've cleared some clear space around your house, firefighters can potentially save it. That looks like a house underground. Interesting. Huh. Here you can get another view of the grapevines. It's about harvest time right about now throughout the wine country here in the Napa Valley area. All right, we got hey, look at that, it's the 747. Making a huge drop. Now, hopefully this helicopter guy's got to zoom out and watch the drift on this retardant. Zoom off of the airplane, helicopter guy. Now, I'll watch this retardant drop. Let's see where this retardant goes. Look at that big wake turbulence come off of that 747. So, again, he's got to displace to the pilot's left, your screen right, in order to get that retardant to drift and drop right in front of the fire, not necessarily on the edge of the fire. Yeah, we know you got an impressive camera there in the helicopter, but what we want to see is the retardant drop. I wish I was in the studio there and could yell at the camera guy in the helicopter. So that's our Global Supertanker. We've done a couple of updates on here on the Blancolirio channel. Again, these large air tankers are operating out of McClellan Air Force Base, just a few 40 miles away or so from this fire, when they're able to fairly quickly load and return tanker 944. November 744, Sierra Tango. Again, if you had a dozen of these air tankers, it still wouldn't make a big, giant difference here in the California fire situation. These aircraft are just another tool in the toolbox. This particular fire lends itself well to the use of large air tankers today because they've got a large, clear left flank that they can drop on that's in the coastal mountains. They're not the steep, rugged mountains of the High Sierra. And so you can make large, effective drops with the very large air tankers. So far today, we've seen the S2Ts, the MD-11, the KC-10, and the 747 air tankers working this fire, as well as, look at all that burn from the LMU complex. That's the fire that was burning all last August. This fire today, the glass fire, that's tanker 944 heading back to Sacramento, back over, is that Lake Berryessa? And that's the LMU complex. All of that area was burned. I don't know, 300,000 or 400,000 acres burned last August over there. This fire, the glass fire, is just west of the huge LMU complex. That LMU complex that you're looking at out there is one of California's top 10, if not top 3 complexes. All of that you're looking at is all burned up from the LMU complex. And now here's today's fire, the glass fire, a mere 1,000 or more acres, impacting St. Helena. So I got to get back to studying on the 777. I'd like to do more of this firefighting live narrative stuff. I couldn't get the live feed sorted out today. The stream key and all that didn't work out, so I'm going to paste these together and get them up here right shortly. This has been the glass fire, which broke out this morning about 1 o'clock in the morning in the Napa County area. It was last reported at just over 1,000 acres, impacting the area of St. Helena, north of St. Helena, east of Calistoga, between Angwin, Pope Valley, and Calistoga. So I hope this gives you a little better understanding of how fixed-wing aircraft are used on these fires. They're not here to put out the fires. They are here to support the ground troops on the ground. Thanks so much for your support of this channel here, and especially over on Patreon that makes this content possible. See you here. Gotta go. I'll share a link where you can continue to watch this.